Are you thinking about veneers to enhance your smile? Today, cosmetic dentist Dr. Michael Allen joins us to review smile enhancement procedures and rate whether they are beautiful or not. Stick to the end because he is going to uncover the hype around one of the most popular veneer trends on social media right now. The truth might influence the choices you make about enhancing your smile. Dr. Allen, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be on here today. This is tons of fun.
Well, you've been practicing dentistry since 2008. And
Uh-huh.
when someone walks into a consult saying they want veneers, what issues are they seeing with their smile?
So there's a lot. Most of the patients that we see, or most of the people, my first contact is not in the consultation. Most of the time, my first contact is how you contacted me via Instagram. And so they'll reach out to me and say something like, I'm interested in a consult for my smile, or I would like to know about pricing on veneers. And so that's how they'll typically reach out. But there's almost always something about their smile that's bothered them. And it's not something recent. It's something that's been going on for a long time. And to the point where maybe a lot of other people that aren't them don't even realize it. Actually, most of my patients will have somebody tell them, you don't need veneers. Your smile looks great. And that's fine. To other people, it does look great. But most people are doing it for themselves because they've noticed, like in photos, maybe they're not smiling like they used to, or maybe they're doing a lip smile, or maybe they're covering their face just a little bit. And it's a lot of times something minor. Occasionally it's something major, but a lot of times it's just some little insecurity that they have about their smile that has caused them to be less confident in talking to people. And it's a real deal. And my job is so fun because I get to help them overcome that lack of confidence and see them completely transform, not only physically, but like mentally. It's a big transformation too. And that's why I love it.
It's so true. The mind, body, and the mouth is such a big thing that you look at every day when you brush your teeth, right?
Well, yeah, not only that, but like as much as we take photos nowadays, we all have these little devices in our hands all the time that we're taking photos of ourselves or our friends or moments. We're trying to capture moments. And if we don't feel confident enough to like show your best self, your laughing self, and that's a big deal for a lot of people to overcome.
It's huge. It's huge. So, what do you evaluate when you're assessing patient smiles before you propose treatments?
Well, so first of all, I want to talk to them. I want to know what they want because sometimes what I see is not even in their wheelhouse. Like they have no idea that that's even it. A lot of times I've seen patients come in and their upper midline, so like in between the front two teeth, is shifted really far to the right, or maybe they have a really gummy smile, and that's the first thing I notice. But they've never noticed it before. That's just part of them, and so they don't realize that that's off, and they maybe come in for a different concern. So I think the biggest part is me and my assistants just listening, finding out what it is that they're insecure about. And then at that point, I feel like I can address that issue and maybe show them some other things that will make their smile stand out. And a lot of people come in and say, hey, it's just my front 2 or 4 teeth. And then when I do a little mock up on them and we correct the front 2 or 4 or even 6 teeth, they still are like, okay, well, what about this and this and this? And then we get to have that conversation. And it's really fun. And imagine going in for like a nose job and then having a lot of say as to what the nose is going to look like. Even halfway through the procedure, we can do all kinds of changes. So it's a ton of fun.
Mock up.
Yes. So a mock-up, I actually did one this morning. A gentleman walked in and he said that he didn't like his teeth were a little bit crowded. So there's a couple different ways to do it. You can do it with an AI simulation, which I will do sometimes. Sometimes I'll call my dental lab and say, hey, take this smile and make it look nicer. And they'll give me a model in wax. But like today, I could take some flowable composite, which is just like some white material. And I can put it over their teeth. And then I can use my drill. I hate calling it a drill. It's a handpiece, but people know it as a drill, right? And so I could take the drill and I can refine the corners and we can make it look. It doesn't look phenomenal. I mean, it could if I wanted to take 2 hours to do it, but on this gentleman, I took about 5 minutes and we made it look to where I could show him and he could say, yes, this is what I'm looking for, or no, that's not quite it. Let's make these changes. It's tons of fun because you don't know what it's going to look like until it's actually in your mouth.
I've never heard of anything like that before. So you're kind of playing with Play-Doh on their teeth and showing them what.
Essentially. Yeah, the Play-Doh, it's fun. It's kind of like Play-Doh. It's a little bit different than Play-Doh, but it's kind of like Play-Doh. I get the gist of that. But yeah, there's no other way to tell what it's going to look like inside your mouth until it's inside your mouth.
I love that. So, beautiful or not, when patients bring in celebrity smile photos to a consult.
So I am totally cool with that because I want to know, again, that's my first question is what do you like? What do you not like? And so like, let's say they bring Margot Robbie is the most common one I've gotten in the last 2 years. They'll bring me and they're like, I love her teeth. And she does have gorgeous teeth. She's had them done a couple of times and the dentist that she chose this most recent time was excellent. Um, and I'll try to find out what is it that you like about their teeth. Most of the time the celebrities have veneers. They actually look really nice. And I would beg to say that most of the time when you think a celebrity doesn't have veneers, they do have veneers. They just had it done really, really well. So you can't notice it. It's the big fake ones that you notice. And so, and there's some of those out there too, but I really like it when they bring me their smiles and just so that I can get a vision for what they're looking for. Now, what I will say is I do not like it when dentists go online and evaluate the celebrity smile without the celebrity's permission, because the celebrity is a human, right? Like they might love their smile. And then there's a dentist saying, oh, this looks terrible here. This looks terrible there. This looks terrible there. Like that's not cool. I mean, they still have feelings and maybe they love their smile and you just put some doubt in their mind that it's not good enough. Like I think that is totally wrong and not cool, but it does get a lot of like low hanging fruit views and stuff. And so I don't know. I'm not a fan of that.
I
I don't
agree
like
with you
that.
so much. That's the one kind of, post that I definitely won't like for that very
Yeah.
same reason.
Well, right. And they do that with nose jobs. They do that with filler and all that kind of stuff. And like, dude, you weren't there when they did that to them. Maybe that's exactly what they wanted and they're thrilled with it. Just because me as a cosmetic dentist doesn't like the way their teeth look doesn't mean I need to tell the whole world that I don't like their teeth.
Agreed.
Right? Like
Agreed.
that's not cool.
Agreed. You have enough amazing examples.
Right. Use your own examples.
Well, you talked about pricing a little bit. Do you think in terms of the process, is it part of a beautiful process or not to make a decision kind of heavily weighted on price?
Well, so everybody has a budget they have to work in, and I understand that, and I understand that my pricing is not cheap, and I mean, there's definitely dentists more expensive than me, but there's a lot that are significantly less expensive for me, and some of them are good. Some of them are very good dentists, and they'll do really, really nice work. But if you are price shopping, I would be a little bit cautious if you're price shopping something as forward facing, right, as veneers, because I know what my lab fees are, and I know dentists who are cheaper than my lab fees for their for their whole fee. And so that tells me that they're cutting corners somewhere. And maybe it's materials, maybe it's the labs, and maybe the average person can't tell the difference between a $3,000 veneer and a $1,000 veneer. I definitely can as a dentist. But I would just caution you if you are going to price shop, make sure you've seen a lot of that dentist's work before you sign on the dotted line. I actually had a consultation with a lady today from Florida, and that was her thing. She had 8 veneers done, and she thought she was going to a good place and actually liked her temporaries a lot. But when she was delivered the finals, she hates them. She absolutely hates them. She told me this is the worst decision that she's ever made. And I hate that. I hate that she has to go through that experience. And that was like 6 months ago. She got them done. She's already shopping for new ones. And honestly, that's tough for me because now she's kind of traumatized and somewhat untrusting, even though I'm fairly confident I can deliver her a beautiful smile. But there's that doubt in the back of her head now. And so she's gone through an experience. And this is like that with all beauty. I mean, I've definitely seen people with lip filler that looks way too big and Botox that makes them too frozen. So don't shop on price. Well, do shop on price because you have to be able to afford it. And I wouldn't say go into major debt that's going to be crippling to get your smile done. But on the same token, there's other options out there. Like there's composite veneers that are cheaper. There's 3D printed veneers that are cheaper. And there's just a lot of options out there that maybe it's your 5-year plan and not your 25-year plan. And so just know where you stand and don't break the bank to do it, but know what you're getting into.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I shopped on price. I've had braces twice in my life, and I'm a little teeth obsessed. And then I've had clear aligners twice, and still, Maybe I should be looking at veneers. Maybe that's why I subliminally found you.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you need to take a trip out to Tucson and we'll talk.
Exactly. My friend's in Tucson, so I'm coming out there.
Oh, it's great out here. I think you would love it, especially this time of year.
Oh, gosh. Well, you are based in Arizona. And so if a patient would like to travel to a provider to enhance their smile, is it beautiful or not as part of the process to do a remote consultation? I mean, can you even see what you need to see?
So somewhat, I will say, and I do most of my consultations remote, just like we're talking right now. And so that allows me to see a few things. That allows me to see how their face plays with their teeth, how their teeth sit in their lips, what they show when they speak, how they function when they're in normal day to day. And so, yeah, a lot of my patients come in from out of state. It was actually really funny. My wife was talking to me the other day about a facelift, and she's beautiful. My wife is gorgeous. She doesn't need a facelift, but she's like planning for the future, right? And she's like, "Hey, I found this doctor in Kansas City. What do you think about this?" I said, "There's good doctors in Tucson." She's like, "Michael, people fly in from out of state all the time to see you." I was like, "Okay, you got a good point." So, but I get that you learn to trust somebody, and especially if you can make a connection online. It's really not that big of a world we live in anymore. It's a quick flight. I've got a lady flying in tomorrow. Actually, two people flying in tomorrow. One from Nevada. Actually, they're both Nevada. One's from Reno and one's from Vegas. That's funny. I didn't realize that till right now. And so they'll fly in to get their teeth done, and that's just normal for me now. And it's a blessing, but that's because I was able to connect with them in one way or another, and they built trust. I'm sure between me and Reno, Nevada, there's probably 500 dentists. I don't know, maybe even more than that because Phoenix is huge. But for some reason, they trust me, and they're flying out to Tucson to see me. So I would say that a Zoom consultation, it can't show everything for sure, but it can show enough to get you an idea. And then if you're able to secure some records from another local dentist, it can really make the process go very smooth.
Okay. Yes, we're in a whole new world. Beautiful or not, going into a veneer treatment thinking you can reverse it if you change your
Oh,
mind.
terrible idea. Terrible idea. Even with no preparation veneers, which we do quite a bit of, I never market them as reversible for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't think that's a good mindset to go into when you're having any work done on yourself. Because if you go in saying, "Oh, if I don't like it, I can reverse it," then you're kind of have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And a procedure that is, I don't want to say is invasive, but is kind of permanent as veneers could and should be. Having that 1 foot out of the door is just not a good way to approach it. And so I am not a fan of that. Now, could they be reversible? Absolutely. I've never personally done it, but I've got friends who have had to remove no prep veneers, and they look fine, and the patients are doing great, and it's all okay. That being said, I don't ever want to have to do it. And if a patient comes in with that mindset, I tell them, let's take a step back. Maybe you're not ready for this yet. This is a lot of money and it's a big commitment. So let's make sure you're full into it before we get started.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know why it almost feels calming to hear, oh, you could remove them, but
It does. It does. People like that. People want that because, I mean, it's the same as like temporary tattoos. Like I won't get a tattoo because I'm nervous of the permanentness, but my wife likes guys with sleeves. And so I got a big sleeve temporary tattoo on, and she laughed for a while, but I thought it was kind of cool, but I'm not ready to make that commitment yet because I'm not sure that I will love that forever. And that's why a mock-up honestly is a huge deal, to get a mock-up before you, that way you can kind of test drive it. And maybe you'll get the mock-up and you're like, I actually hate this. That's fine. I've definitely had that happen in the past.
I love that idea of the mock-up. So would that just be while they're in the office, or would they wear it out for a day and then?
So I've done it both ways. I'll let them wear it out for a day or two. It's a little clumsy. It definitely is not an exact representation of what we can do, but it's to give you an idea. And most of the time, thankfully, patients love it because we're really good at making it a stressful thing, and it looks very nice on their teeth. Other than it's kind of clumsy to chew with. That's about all.
Beauty seekers, do not go anywhere. What Dr. Allen is going to reveal about the veneer trend taking over your feed right now is something you need to hear before you ever book a veneer consultation.
The suspension is thick here. I love this.
Cosmetic veneers done in a single office visit are one type of veneer. What do you think? Beautiful or not?
Done in the right hands, they are absolutely beautiful. I have a few friends who are so talented with composite veneers, and they do such a good job. And it's typically a long appointment. It can be upwards of, I think the fastest I've heard them done is 4 or 5 hours, but upwards of 8 to 16 hours. I mean, it can be a long visit. And a lot of times they'll have you back the next day just to refine them. But in the right hands, they're great. In my hands, they're terrible. They're ugly. They look like thumbs if I do them. So you shouldn't want me doing them. And I won't do them, honestly. I don't do them at all. But in the right hands, and I know a couple of people who are just so talented at this, they look, I'm not going to say as good as the porcelain veneers, but the average person probably wouldn't be able to tell.
Really?
Yeah, they can be very good.
Are there risks with that type of?
I would say risks, because a lot of times they're doing these without really shaving the teeth down. The downsides are longevity is not there. I mean, you might get 5 to 10 years out of them. Also, the polishability, that while they can polish beautifully, they will wear significantly more than a porcelain veneer. Cost-wise, they're a little bit less expensive in most people's hands, which is great. Although my friends who are doing it at a very high level, they rival the prices that I charge for porcelain. But yeah, I wouldn't say there's like a lot of risks health-wise. They can chip, but so can a porcelain veneer. They can break, so can a porcelain veneer. So it's not a bad procedure at all if done in the right hands. Yeah, so Smile Trend Institute of Modern Cosmetic Dentistry, where we train dentists from really all over the world how to do really high level porcelain veneers in all different forms. We have quite a few classes, but the funnest part for me about that is connecting with other dentists. And kind of how it started is I held a class at my friend and partner, Dr. James Heaton's office. And after that class, I had 10 doctors there. He's like, Dr. Allen, you realize that you helped 10 dentists out. And if each of them goes out and does higher level of cosmetic dentistry on 10 patients, that's 100 people's lives that you affected. And now we've seen well over 1,000 people through our institute, and they're out there treating cases all the time. And I love the fact that I've had a small impact on people's lives, hopefully for the positive. And it's just so much fun to be out there and meeting dentists who have like a similar mindset. And more than anything, we've formed a community of people who are abundant to share their knowledge, who are vulnerable. We can all understand that we are not perfect, and we can all do better, and we can help each other, which is the best part. Every profession needs a group, and all people want to be part of something, and we've just given them something that they can be a part of, and a lot of people thrive that way.
Yes, we're very tribal. How many dentists do you think you've trained?
That's a good question. I would put it right around probably 800 to 1,200 in the last 3 years.
Oh, okay.
That would be a rough ballpark.
Okay.
Some of them have had a ton of training with us, and some of them had just a small experience with it. But we've been in touch with at least that many dentists, probably a lot more than that, honestly. I mean, we have a huge following on Instagram now that we've built organically, and we've done a lot of webinars and other things like that, and a lot of online courses as well. So it's been fun. We did not get into it to make money or get famous or anything like that. Although I will be honest, I do like the attention that it gives me, and I can admit that, like, that's totally cool. But now it's a nice supplement to my income as a dentist. And I just really enjoy the people aspect of it. And I love it. Like, I do a lot of cases, and I love it when they turn out great. Even more though, I love it when I get a text message from another dentist that says, this is awesome. Look what I just did. This case turned out so good. Thank you for the help. That's what does it for me. Honestly, that's why I do it.
Yes, exactly. I can relate. Just starting Beauty Seek right now, but thank you. Thank you for paying it forward.
Yeah, no, it's totally fun. It's in a very selfish way. I love doing it.
Beautiful or not, 3D printed veneers as maybe, is it a lower cost alternative to porcelain?
Yeah, it is a lower cost typically. That's in its infancy right now, honestly. I'll bet in the next 5 years, they become ridiculously good. Where they stand now, if the clinician takes time to hand layer them or design them beyond what comes out of the mill, they can be pretty nice. Probably not as nice as composite veneers, definitely not as nice as porcelain, but it's getting there. We just taught a class this last weekend about it and how to make them really, really like stand out and how to make them look high end. It's not easy. It's really not easy. It's not simple, but it can be done by the right clinician. So I'd say keep your eye on that one. And if you want to try it for like a 5 to 10 year plan, I'm totally cool with that because the cost is down. And I've done quite a few cases myself, and so far so good. Like the patients love them. I like them enough, and the longevity is there. But the oldest one that's out there is like 4 years old, so we don't know how long these are going to last.
Okay, what is the material that is being?
So it's a composite. It's a filled composite resin with a glass or zirconia in it to make it a little bit stronger. But I would say it's very, very similar to like a composite. The advantage is that you can print the shell out very cleanly, and the fit can be really, really nice. And it's more like it actually has properties of both a porcelain veneer and a composite veneer. So it kind of gets the benefits of both of them in some ways. It's not as beautiful as we want it to be yet. And it'll get there. It'll definitely get there.
Are they printed individually?
Yeah, they're all printed individually. Well, they print them. You can print 10 at a time, but they're printed individually. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's like 3 capsules that can fit 3 on it, but they're individual and they're printed.
Okay.
You can get mock-ups printed where they're all connected. That's kind of a newer technology that's looking really, really good, but you wouldn't want to have that in your mouth permanently because you need to floss.
Okay, gotcha. That's what I think I've seen is they come out like this and they're all kind of connected.
Yeah, they come out all connected and you put them in their mouth. Yeah, those are cool. Those are great for mock-ups and for trial smiles, things like that. But as far as having them long-term, no, I don't think that's a very good idea at all.
You are deep in the nuances of smile technology, in my opinion. In fact, you co-created your own veneer system called Lux Veneers.
Yeah, Lux Veneers is interesting. So, and I'll just be honest with you. What me and my partner, Dr. Heaton, we had started doing a lot of no preparation veneers, and we're like, how can we set ourselves apart? And so we talked to a couple labs, and we ended up purchasing a portion in a dental lab. And we talked to them about how can we set ourselves apart in the dental space. And we thought, we can brand ourselves. And so essentially Lux Veneers is just a brand that we created. I don't want to say there's nothing special about them because we hold them to very, very high standard, but we're the only ones doing them. And they come out of our dental lab and they're very strong. They're very beautiful. They're hand layered. And it's more of a branding aspect than anything else. I wouldn't say that, and then a lot of dentists have kind of copied that and they've had their own brand. There's Halo Veneers out there. There's Harmony Veneers. There's a dozen of them out there. We kind of got into the game earlier and we're lucky enough to have a couple of really big influencers kind of pushing it. And so I'd say our brand is maybe a little bit more recognizable, but in essence, it's a veneer that essentially we don't have to drill your teeth down to little nubs to do.
Perfect.
So that's really about it. It's more of a name than anything else.
Okay. But you own a big chunk of the supply chain there.
Well, we hope to. we like name recognition, and that helps us out for sure.
That's
and
great.
People love to search for brands. I mean, the purse that you get from Louis Vuitton is probably not all that different than the purse that you get from Target, but everybody wants the Louis Vuitton brand, right? They both hold your car keys and your cell phone. So veneers are similar.
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful or not, applying the same veneer style to a male patient as you would a female?
That's a tricky question. I would say yes and no, because there's definitely men who have softer features and women who have more strong features. And so it can be appropriate in either situation. So where the typical male has maybe squarer, more hard, flatter teeth, maybe slightly wider, but there's definitely females out there that have teeth that are shaped like that. So it really just comes down to evaluating what fits in the patient's face. The last thing that you want is for the patient to smile and be known as like Julie with the teeth, right? Like whether that's because they're too white, too square, too bulky, whatever it is, like it just has to flow and enhance their natural beauty. And so there can't be any aesthetic stress that your smile causes. And unfortunately, like when they're too white, well, that's an aesthetic stress. It's Julie with the teeth, right? It's Julie with the white teeth. or they look like dentures or something funny like that. And that makes you notice that one part of their body. And so, and just like if you were to get a breast augmentation that was really, really big, and then that's all people see when they're looking at you, or lips that are too big, that's all people will see. So you want everything to just flow very naturally. My goal with patients is to have their friends or family or whoever they come in contact with say, are those real? Are they fake? Are they real? Are they fake? Like I want them to be that good that they look like they're too good to be real, but look that real that they're too real to be fake. Does that make sense?
It does. Yes.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm shooting for. And so male or female, it just has to fit the face. Where I have very sharp, pointy canines, they're kind of aggressive. I like the look. And so I went with that and it fits my face fine. Whereas that wouldn't fit on a very narrow, skinny female unless they wanted it to stand out.
True. Okay. Great feedback.
So, yeah.
Beauty Seekers, stay with us because at the end of this interview, Dr. Allen is going to uncover the hype behind one of the biggest veneer trends on social media right now. And that knowledge may change your smile enhancement plans. How old can composite veneers get before they change from beautiful to not?
Probably pretty old if they're maintained right. I would say, I think there was a study that said over 10 or 14 years, I can't remember the exact number of years, they will lose a 0.5 millimeter of facial thickness due to wear. So that means that they're going to not be so polished anymore, just from natural wear. So if you get them polished on a regular basis, maybe you go in every 6 months or every year and get a good polishing on them. I think they can be beautiful for a really long time. I don't think, especially with the newer composites that you're using with these nano hybrid filled, they have these little round pieces of glass in there. They polish really nice, and the technology is only getting better. So I wouldn't say that there's like a certain expiration date on them or anything like that. Just like anything else in the mouth, I'll say it depends on how the owner of them treats them. And if they're maintained really well, it's just like a car. If you're going to change the oil and change the belts, and do your regular maintenance, it could last you for 500,000, maybe even 1,000,000 miles. But if you just drive the heck out of it and don't pay any attention to that, they probably won't last very long. Okay.
Maintenance like anything.
Just like anything else.
How long have you seen composite veneers last and look good?
Probably 8 to 10 years is the most I've seen, but I know there's some out there that are better than that. Again, it comes down to the clinician who is placing it as well. Did they use a good composite? Did they use really good techniques? And how well did you maintain it? In my office, though, yeah, probably 8 to 10 years is the longest I've seen them still look good. Where I wasn't like, these are looking a little dingy. Maybe we should replace these.
Okay.
So, but it all depends on the eye of the patient too. Just because I don't think it looks good doesn't mean they don't.
Right. Can you briefly cover what it takes to replace? That sounds like a big job to me.
To replace a veneer or a composite veneer, you just have to remove it. And so you can use a laser to remove it. You can use a drill to remove it. Those are the two main ways to take them off. Typically, the patients will need to be numb, and that can cause a little bit of trauma to the gum tissue as well, and sometimes a little bit of trauma to the tooth underneath there. And so it's not a fun process. I don't enjoy taking anything off. I just took a crown off a couple of minutes ago. That's why I was a little late to the podcast, because I was taking a crown off, and it takes some time, and it's not fun, but it can be done. It can be done very predictably in most cases. There's always the potential for something to not go as planned, I'll say, and you could have some trauma to the underlying tooth, but that's not the normal. That's the exception to the rule, I would say.
Okay. Back in the day, my son had to get a crown. He was just a child. It was on a baby tooth, and then it fell out, and his tooth was rotten underneath. Is that a risk with?
So it's a little different between baby teeth and adult teeth.
Okay.
Probably with baby teeth, he had a pulpotomy done to that tooth, and they don't fit tight like the adult crowns do, where the margins are completely sealed. Stainless steel, it was probably metal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those metal crowns, they just kind of fit over the top, and it's not perfect, but we know that it doesn't have to last that long. We know that we can get 5 years out of it. We're good to go. Whereas you would be disappointed if you only got 5 years out of a $2,000 crown. So, we bond those a lot better. And typically adults are a little bit more patient to go through the process than kids are.
Okay. Two different stories. Does it help maintain long-term veneer beauty or not to wear a retainer at night?
I'm a big fan of that. Absolutely. I don't think it helps with the beauty necessarily, but teeth are shifting all the time, like all the time. They're always moving. If you just push on your teeth right now, it'll wiggle a little bit because it's got a periodontal ligament that is holding it in place. And so I would say that more than anything, it helps to retain the proper position of the tooth. Whereas some people are grinders. So you might chip or damage the veneers if you're a heavy grinder, because you can control that during the day, but at night you don't know what you're doing. If you have sleep apnea or something like that, you might be banging on them really hard, causing chippage and breakage, and you don't want that. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that. All of my patients who get veneers go home with some type of a night guard,
Oh,
and a lot of times it's just a retainer.
okay, great. Okay, good to know. I thought I made that up.
No, no, you're right on. You're on point there.
Beautiful or not, a veneer result where the teeth look perfect. However, the gum line maybe is somehow off.
No, as part of your smile design, the gums need to be taken into consideration. Most of the time, I'm using a laser to reshape the gums a little bit, sometimes a lot. Sometimes we need to send you out as well for some bone contouring because it doesn't allow the uniformity of the veneers to look right. And when you smile, I don't care how white your teeth are, if they're different heights and different sizes, it just doesn't quite look straight. And so, yes, always address the gum tissue. I think that should be something that's always addressed for sure.
It's just part of the overall design.
Part of it. Yep, it's part of it.
Okay.
It's the frame of the teeth. And if the frame is not straight, then it makes everything else look crooked as well.
Okay. Should patients be asking about that as part of their consultation? And
I always bring it up, but if you're going to a dentist who doesn't bring it up, they should definitely ask about that.
okay.
Absolutely. Because that's a big thing. And it needs to be addressed in almost every single case.
Really?
It's very rare that I don't adjust at least a small portion of the gums.
Okay. And adjust. By adjust, you mean?
I mean, laser, remove, vaporize. There's a lot of good words for it that probably nobody wants to hear. But
Oh, okay. Augmenting the gums.
augmentation is probably the right way. Yes, that's probably the right word. Gum augmentation is almost always necessary.
Okay, perfect. Good, great. If a dentist does not give a set of temporary veneers prior to the permanent placement, how likely is a patient to think their final result is beautiful or not?
Oh, wow. That comes down to patient psychology, really. I know an office who almost never does temporaries that act as templates for the finals, and they seem to be very successful with it. Me, on the other hand, I'm the opposite. I want the patients to have some say in it. And so I like them wearing, at least for a couple of hours in my office, I like them to wear temporary veneers. I want to make that decision with them. Again, it goes back to like, what if you had a nose job and then you could wake up halfway through and be like, oh, take a little bit more off the tip. Like I like that kind of feedback. And so kind of when you go the route where you don't wear temporaries or at least don't see a template in your mouth, other than your natural teeth, then we're just guessing. That's what I call prep and pray. You're preparing the teeth and you're praying you get something back that they like. I'm not a big fan of that. But it does work in some dentists' hands. And I would say those dentists have done thousands of cases probably, and people kind of know what they're getting into when they go to those offices, and they do a great job with it. Some of my best friends do it that way. And while I don't agree with it, it doesn't mean it's the wrong way.
Okay. And can you explain what a temporary is? It's not the Play-Doh that we were talking about.
No, so the temporary is after we've prepared your teeth, whether we've got to drill them or not, we will put in so we'll order a smile design. After the consultation, we'll order a smile design from a lab. And that's where I've discussed with the lab, I'd like to make this one longer, this one shorter, this one shaped this way, this one shaped that way. And they design the smile to our specifications. And then once I get that back, I will take a negative of it, like an impression of that, and I can stick that in your mouth with some material in it, which is basically plastic. And then we slide it in your mouth and it covers your veneer preparations typically. And then you can see it'll act as like a template for the finals. And it works really, really good. And it gives you the chance to wear that around for a week or 2 or 3, depending on how long it takes to get the final ones hand layered. So I think it's a great way to know what you're getting. But yeah, again, not all dentists do it that way.
I love that option. I had the 3D modeling option when I, got the clear aligners, but I didn't
Yeah.
really feel like it ended up looking that way. That would have been so great to have a temporary.
Yeah, again, you never know what it's really going to look like when it looks until you get it in your mouth. And I will say that the finals never match the temporaries perfectly because there are limitations you have in temporaries versus finals. But it'll give you a good idea. Like at least we want to know the right length and the right width and thickness and color, and that helps us to get those a lot easier, I feel like.
I love this. This is like an epiphany to me. Dr. Allen, before you tell us about the smile enhancement trend that everyone is seeing and should be questioning, can you tell us about a patient whose results you're just really proud of, someone where the entire veneer treatment came together beautifully?
Oh, I mean, make me pick. This is one of my early ones, and I think this is why it had such a big impact on me. I had this girl named Monica come into my office, and as part of the process, I always asked them, like, why now? Like, why do you want to do this now? And she said, well, and she had very stained teeth. They weren't unhealthy, but they were very stained, stained white, stained yellow, stained brown. And she said, I was looking at my wedding photos with my kid, and I can't remember how old the kid was, younger, like 5, 6, 7, something like that. And I realized that I did not smile in any one of my wedding photos. And so I said, what will this do for you? So that's another question I always ask is what will getting veneers do for you? She's like, it'll allow me to be my real self. And so we went through the process. We did 8 or 10 veneers on her. I don't remember. And this was probably, I don't know, 7 years ago, probably now. And I still get DMs from her saying how much she loves her smile and how much of a life-changing experience it was for her. And so from a selfish perspective, this is the best job ever. It's super stressful and super hard sometimes. And every dentist wants to do this until they actually start doing it because it's not for the faint-hearted. But when you have an experience like that, and I'm lucky to have those quite often, it makes it all worth it. And on top of that, you get to make these really cool relationships with really cool people. I had another one recently, girl named Alyssa. I asked her the why. She said, well, I'm going to get married soon, hopefully. I don't think she was even engaged yet, but I'm going to hopefully get married soon. And my dad's disabled, and I know he's not going to be with me a whole lot longer. And I just want to be my real self while I'm walking down the aisle with my dad in the wheelchair. And like she starts crying, I start crying, and we're all crying, and it's like the worst thing ever. And I'm like, stop it right now. We're not talking about this. But yeah, it has an impact on you as a human. There's a human aspect of this that is majorly overlooked. Everybody thinks it's just these little pieces of glass, but I am super, super lucky that I have the ability to help people be themselves. And it's so cool.
I love that. You're so blessed and your patients are so blessed. Let's do the math. 800 trainings times probably plus all the patients.
I mean, even if they treat one patient at a higher level, like it's such a blessing I have. I always tell people I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I've got a beautiful wife, wonderful family, great staff. I'm eating well. Am I stressed sometimes? Sure, but man, life is good, and I get to make great connections all the time.
That's great. I'm so happy for you. Sidebar: being in, kind of that position where you're always kind of working, what do you do to kind of keep your body healthy?
Oh man, blessed with good genetics. Thankfully, I need to do more because I'm leaning over all the time. Yeah, I don't have any tricks for that. Sorry. I do wear ergonomic loops, which help a lot. They force me into this position, sitting straight up, as opposed to leaning over. So that's helped a lot. I've really gotten into those probably the last year or so.
Oh, great.
But yeah, I'd say that's probably the best thing to do.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, we've all been waiting. Dr. Allen, what is the smile design trend we are seeing all over social media right now that you feel maybe you should be questioning?
Well, so I'm probably a little bit to blame for this because when we created Lux No Prep Veneers, like it kind of went viral. And so a lot of people are asking about no prep veneers. Can I get my veneers without having to shave my teeth? And that's kind of a double-edged sword because I will say that in every single no prep case, there is some type of aesthetic compromise. Like you are making a compromise in one way or the other. I would say that most of my no prep cases, which there's a lot of them out there at this point, would look slightly better if we were to drill the teeth a little bit more. And so that's something that you need to weigh as a patient do I value no drilling and slightly less aesthetics, or am I okay with, or do I want just the most aesthetic case that you can give me? I will say that my wife, we drilled her teeth because I didn't ever want to think about it.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to make sure that she had the best smile I could give her, that I wasn't going to be staring at. And I knew that it would be better if we were to drill her teeth a little bit. That being said, we can do some pretty amazing stuff with these ceramics with just slightly adjusting the teeth, which I call nearly no prep. Most of the time, I don't even need to numb the patients for that. And their teeth look better after I make those adjustments than they did when they walked in the door. A true no preparation case is maybe 5% of the population can qualify for a true, beautiful, like no compromises, no preparation case. So not many, but when we do near no preparation, so like we're just rounding some corners and maybe dusting off a little bit of the outside enamel on the fancy words, distal line angles of the central incisors, that allows my ceramist enough room to still make the case beautiful with almost all of your enamel intact. And so I would say that it is kind of a popular tagline that you need to know that you're getting into. Make sure you've seen a lot of the dentist's no preparation teeth or their no prep veneer cases before you go in and sign on the dotted line, because I've seen some hideous stuff out there. And they kind of got a bad rap because people would do them without even thinking. They just throw it on everything. And while, yes, it's a blessing that you didn't shave your enamel, you still look ugly. And so I feel like you got to be a little bit careful what you get. And not all no prep veneers are created equal. Only the highest of the high-end labs are able to do it at a really beautiful level. And so if you're paying $1,000 a unit for a no prep veneer, just know that you're probably not getting the highest quality of everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They honestly should range from 2,000, 2,500 up to 5,000 or 6,000 a unit, just based on the talent that these ceramists have to make these beautiful, teeny little pieces of glass. And then these dentists who are skilled enough to take that teeny little piece of glass and make it strong and beautiful and functional on your mouth. It's a lot. It's not a commodity. It's an art. It's an art that's also functional. It's like a Ferrari. Like a Ferrari is a beautiful piece of art that just so happens to be crazy fast and very functional. And you don't realize how much you use your teeth all day. You chew all day long. You're speaking all day long, and they have to function good for a really long time.
Exactly. Okay. So wow, veneering is really an art.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not, like I said, it's not for the faint of heart, because it's demanding from the patient's perspective, from the lab's perspective, and from the dentist's perspective.
Dr. Allen, thank you. Thank you for taking your time to talk with the Beauty Seek community.
This is fun.
Yes, I've really enjoyed this. You've helped our beauty seekers understand that veneers they're not just a cosmetic choice, and they're a commitment for life, ideally.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And the dentist and their techniques, they matter more than most people probably realize going in.
I believe that's true. But I'm super nerdy, so I can talk about this stuff all day long. And there's definitely stuff that I don't know. And there's definitely dentists who do amazing work out there all over the world. So a lot of people will say, don't go here for veneers or don't go here for veneers. Go wherever you want to go, but make sure that you understand what you're getting into before you get into it.
So that would be a great question to end on. To how can a patient, what are the 3 to 5 questions that they should ask for sure if the dentist isn't asking them?
Show me your work. I want to see what you've done. I want to see before and after pictures. I would ask, like how much of this tooth structure do we need to shave to achieve the most aesthetic result? You need to know the cost, of course. Definitely ask the cost. And I mean, honestly, more than anything, try to connect with that dentist. Like, make sure that you're totally comfortable with that person who's working on maybe one of the most visible places on your body. Everybody looks at people's smiles. They really, really do. Yeah. There's a funny meme going around where the guy is missing his front tooth and he's also missing an eyebrow. Nobody ever notices the eyebrow. Everybody notices the tooth.
Seriously.
Yep. It's pretty funny.
Because we pay more attention to the smile?
Yeah. Everybody pays more attention to the smile. Unless you're somebody who does eyebrows, then
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah, then of course you do. Thank you so much once again for educating our community. I'd love to have you back. We're so grateful you're here with us today, and you are a gift to the community.
Well, thank you. I hope you have a great day.
What we call less invasive procedure would do the job as well. It's often because of laziness of the dentist that he's going for a more invasive procedure